My name is Betty Boone. I am a Memphis transplant. I'm from Georgia. I'm a Georgia peach. Um, I'm a widow now. I am the mother of one son, and I've been in Memphis for over 20 years now. But let me tell you a little bit about my story. My story is a story out of Atlanta, Georgia, over 32 years ago. Um, Divorced, single mom, enjoying life, but then my life changed. One night, after my niece and my brother were all out having fun somewhere, I was home with my son. And I usually go through the house and I check the doors and things of that sort. So I did. And I saw someone in my backyard around the street, and the person was just walking by. I paid it no mind because it was summertime. And so I eventually went to bed. And my son, being 2 year old, he wanted to be in the bed with me. So he came and he jumped in the bed with me. And eventually we went to sleep. And my son laying in the bed next to me. Um, I'm asleep, but I was awakened by a knife at my throat. The first thing in my thought process was my son is laying next to me. And I kept my eyes closed because my assailant said, "Don't look at me." And I could feel the knife at my throat. I am so afraid. I reached my hand over just to touch my son to make sure he was still asleep. And he assaulted me. All while he was assaulting me, he was telling me all kinds of crazy things in his head. I was just praying that everything would be okay. Whatever he wanted to do, I'd say it was okay. My thoughts was my son. And miraculously, there was a noise in the back of the house. And he feared that something or someone was coming in. And so he grabbed me by the arm and dragged me to the door, still telling me to keep my eyes closed. Miraculously, my son did not wake up. So, with the knife at my throat, having endured what I endured, he got out the house, and I was in shock. I was in shock. I could not believe this happened to me. To me. I immediately called my brother. He was an Atlanta fireman. I told him what had just happened. And then I called the police. Normally you would think the person would call the police right away, but I called my brother because I knew my brother would assure me that everything was going to be okay. And then I called my friends, my girlfriends. I was angry. I was hurt. I was scared. But I'm also a person that has tremendous amount of faith. There was no one coming in the house. I don't know where the noise came from, but the noise rattled him in such a way that it was an escape for me. I remember this happening to me. When my brother got there, the police got there, and it just was so many things happening. It was just like going over. Only thing I wanted to do was grab and hug my son and hope and pray that he did not see or hear anything that was going on. The police came, and I must say I am very proud of the Atlanta Police Department at that particular time. But what a woman endures after that is it's embarrassing. Some women don't want to do it because you then have to go downtown. They they examine you. You have to go through. You can't. You have to get on a table and they do things to make sure they get samples. But they were nice. Then they give you pills to take. I think those who've been through what I've been through is to prevent you from being pregnant. I don't know if you understand, but how humiliating all of that is. Then the police comes in and they ask you questions, very personal questions, if you knew this person and all these things. No, I don't know this person. I became angry. I do not know this person. How did they get in the house? I don't know how they got in the house. Later on, I did find out, it's summertime. My brother's friend had left the window up, and that's how they got in the house. The police asked me if I saw the person. I told that police officer that I kept my eyes closed. I had a 2-year-old laying in the bed with me, and I was not going to jeopardize anything happening to my 2-year-old. The police said to me, it could have been worse. And he was right. I could have been beaten like some women are. I could have been stabbed. But through the grace of God, I wasn't. But I was angry. I was very angry. How dare this person come into my house and do this to me? And they offer you counseling and things of that sort. I said to the police department, I'm going to help you find this person. I remembered his voice. And believe me, that is how we actually apprehended this person. Now, I had quick thinking too. As we were leaving out of the house, as he was grabbing me, dragging me to the door, I said something to him like this. And it's going to sound weird to you guys, maybe. But I said to him, let me give you my telephone number. I gave him my telephone number. And I told the police I gave him my telephone number. I said, because this crazy person is going to call me. And I want you all to put all kinds of things on my phone. And that's what they did. That's how we caught him. He called me back. My brother was there. I had people at the house now. I had people at the house with me because I was afraid. Because when that happens to you, you lose your security. You lose your sense of freedom. I never slept with my door closed before. Ever since then, I slept with my door closed. I checked to make sure it was locked. Immediately, I got locks on all my windows. I got double locks on all my doors. Because that's what sets into you. You lose your sense of freedom and security. People don't understand that's a loss. I didn't feel this way before. But after I was assaulted, that was my life. And being a divorced woman at the time with a son and living life single, my life changed. I started watching corners, making sure no one, was around. But it took the police about 2 months before they apprehended this person. During that 2-month period of time, there are counseling sessions that people go through. And in those sessions, a lot of women react to this kind of assault differently. And it's important for folks to know that not every woman handles it the same way. And therefore, those who are involved with women who goes through these things need to understand that there is a different approach that you have to take to every case. You just can't treat every case the same way. I was angry. I felt that I had rights, and I made sure that the police department took care of my rights. I wanted this person found and convicted. I went to the grand jury, and voice recognition is how we got this person, and this person eventually confessed. And so I did not have to go and suffer the humiliation of going through a trial case like some women had to do. And so I'm fortunate in that respect. But the women that I met along my journey, some who fared much worse than I did, either recoiled into themselves, no longer wanted to go out, no longer wanted to be a part of, their surroundings. All of those things happen when you're assaulted. But it's important for us to share our story, because if you share your story, it will help other women to be stronger. And those who this has happened to, who have not had an opportunity to share the story or tell someone, they need to tell someone. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You need to tell someone. I'm glad that I told everybody that was close to me, because then they became my network. When I was sad and afraid, they were there for me. When you try to go alone, you end up being alone. And it leads to so many other problems in your life. Share your story. Tell the police. Tell a counselor. Make sure that if you've gone to the police and things have not been tested, fight. Make sure you fight. And find a great advocacy organization in the community in which you live, and go to them. They are trained. They have confidentiality. They will work with you. Justice is what you want. And that's my story.